I hugged my father for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
He got sick.
Would you believe that this guy hates hugs? This is Good Hugs. It's a show about hugs. But what if you're not a hugger? Let's figure that out. This is a very simple project. I interview anyone and everyone and ask them the question, what is the most memorable or meaningful hug that you've ever had in your entire life? I ask them the question, they tell me the answer. It's literally as simple as that. Something we do here is at the end of each interview, I ask the interviewee if they'd like a hug. They almost always say yes, but sometimes they say no. This episode is filled with people who have given me amazing interviews, and then after, when I ask them for a hug, they simply say no. It is immensely confusing. Let's figure out what the is going on. Let's start with Raf. And right now I'm talking with Raf. Raf, I'm going to ask you one question. It has no wrong answer. Would you care to share with me one of the most memorable or meaningful hugs that you've ever had in your entire life?
Okay. I kind of gotta think about that for a while. That's a very interesting question. Damn, that's a good question, dude. I don't think anybody's ever asked that, like, ever. One that comes to mind came from my grandmother. She's in hospice care now. She's 103 years old. So when I was born, she was in her 70s. And, she took care of me, essentially. Whenever my parents couldn't or whatever, I would spend my weekends or, just random periods with her. We spent time together. She'd take care of me. And it's gotten to the point now where I take care of her. And it's a different experience. I got to express a lot of things. I got to express a lot of things that I was grateful for, that she had done for me over the years, even though at the time it irritated the hell out of me. Dude. I used to hate her guts sometimes, but looking back on it, it was definitely beneficial. And she's done a lot for me, and the fact that I'm able to take care of her now it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
How would you physically describe a hug between you and your grandmother?
It's very soft. Very soft. She's was never been like a big hugger. Really. But from time to time we'll hug or whatever. Usually if I initiate it, it's never really been her thing. Cause I'm a hugger. But it's a whole nother story. But anywho, yeah, they're usually just soft hugs or whatever, but they mean more now. Yeah.
What would you write if you had to file a hug with your grandmother?
One or two words. Labeling a hug, that is very peculiar. Simple, powerful.
Thank you for sharing this story with me. Would you like a hug?
No, okay.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Thanks, Raf. That was an awesome story. And I'm still super confused. You describe yourself as a big hugger. I don't know if there's trauma there. I don't want to judge. I really like that story. I really like you. How the hell am I going to figure this thing out? As I said in the last episode, I feel like mostly women give me the best answers. Men tend to be a little more guarded. And it's very interesting to see men who are guarded open up, share a story. Something as beautiful as Ralph just did with his grandmother, who he is taking care of. A beautiful story, and then immediately be like, no. There's no hug here. I don't know what to do with this information. Let's make it even more confusing. I talked to Wayne the Train Hancock. He's a country music artist, really one of my favorite country music musicians. He was in town and allowed me to interview him. It was enlightening. He has about 2,000,000,000 albums. You can find them anywhere where they're streaming stuff or see him at any honky tonk, anywhere, ever. This guy lives on the road. This is Wayne the Train Hancock. And right now I'm talking with Wayne the Train Hancock, one of my favorite musicians. Wayne, I'm going to ask you one question. Would you care to share with me one of your most memorable hugs of your entire life?
Let's see. The most memorable hugs. Well, I was standing in line at a place in, I remember where it was, Los Angeles. It was playing a big show. There was a big long line of people. You know, I was giving everybody a hug. There's a Hispanic woman all the way about the end of the line, you know. And as she got closer, I realized it was a, transgender, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I still gave him a hug anyway, because I figured, hell, he looked like he needed one, you know. And I figured, man, everybody needs a hug, you know. I remember it was getting closer because I thought, man, she's changing. I just remember that. Your most memorable hug? Yeah, that was a memorable hug, dude. But it's one of them things, it's human nature to want to give love when you can, you know. Doesn't matter who they are, brother, you know. Everybody needs some loving once in a while, right?
That's beautiful. So I just have two quick follow-up questions I ask everyone. How would you describe the hug? Physically, was it strong, soft, swaddly, sweaty?
No, it was
how would you describe
it? It was just like a hug when you see a cousin or something. You know, you just walk and give them a hug. You know, like you do. You know, you want to get lucky. Playing honky tonks is a good way to get shot if you indicate to somebody the wrong way.
What city was this in?
God, I don't remember. It had to be somewhere in Los Angeles. This is years ago, you know. But I just remember going. I remember it got closer, you know, to realize I'm gonna hug it. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought, what if they're just trying to see if they can get a response? I'm just gonna show them that I'm, that's not what it's about, you know.
And the final question that I ask everyone is, if you had a file cabinet and you open it up and there's a bunch of files and there's a little label on there, just one word, how would you label, or what file would you put that hug in? What would the name of the label be?
The name of the label would be Education in Human Kindness.
Hell yeah. Wayne, thank you for sharing that with me.
Thank you.
Would you like a hug?
Oh, I'm good right now. I'm good.
All right. Thank you for sharing that story.
I'm all sweaty. Just got off stage, and I'm old. I got the old man blues. Tonight's show is brought to you by Camel Cigarettes.
Well, Wayne, you do write songs for a living. And an education in human kindness is certainly quite the phrase. Check out his music. It was actually quite beautiful, especially at the end. And all of these interviews are going to be Well, kind of weird. I have a lot of thoughts on this next interview, so I'm just going to play it. Let's listen to Matthew. And right now I'm talking with Matthew. Matthew, I'm going to ask you one question. It has no wrong answer. Would you care to share with me one of the most memorable or meaningful hugs that you've ever had in your entire life?
Okay. Memorable or meaningful hugs. Well, yeah, my wife proposed to me. We were out of the country, and as soon as we were engaged, as soon as I said yes, basically, we hugged. And I won't ever forget that. You know what I mean? Like, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I can still kind of put myself there. We're standing on a bridge in Poland, and yeah, it was just shocking. It was just a really surreal experience, I'd say.
And how would you physically describe the hug?
Well, physically, yeah, it was just a very firm hug. It was just like an embrace, like almost full body, like I could picture like our thighs and everything touching, So yeah, it was just a firm, strong hug.
And the final question, if you had a file cabinet and you open up that file cabinet, there's a bunch of folders and they have that little tab on each one of the folders. You can only write 1 or 2 words on each one of those tabs. What would be written on a tab if you had to file this hug into it?
Love.
Thank you for sharing this story with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Would you like a hug?
I'm going to pass for now.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so there's something that's going on here. People who will not give me a hug after the interview. Are we sensing a theme here? They are men. Matthew described a very nice story where he allowed, is that a thing? I don't know. A woman to propose to him. That is not like a masculine thing. He described a story about a woman proposing to him, and he refused a hug at the end. So, what does that mean? How should I know? I want to psychoanalyze this. I want to know what that means. But I will say, we've heard from Raph, we've heard from Wayne, we've heard from Matthew, and we're about to hear from Cara, and we're about to hear from Antonio. There might be a theme here, but it's not for me to judge. Now I'm starting to think that maybe I'm the problem. I just want to hear these beautiful stories. And Matthew, that was a beautiful story. Thank you so much for sharing it. I want to hear more beautiful stories. Well, let's finally hear from a woman. Here's Cara. And right now I'm talking to Cara. Cara, I'm going to ask you a simple question. It has no wrong answer.
Okay.
Would you care to share with me one of the most memorable or meaningful hugs that you've ever had in your entire life?
Oh, wow. Oh, that's an interesting one. Wow, that's an interesting. Most meaningful hugs. I think you're asking the wrong person. Let me think about this. I really can't. I don't think I've ever had a meaningful hug, like where it was just like a memorable hug that I can really think about right now. I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, no.
That's interesting.
I don't have anything.
That's interesting on its own.
Yes, I mean, like, that's, like, I can't, no. I mean, I've hugged people, but it's never been meaningful where it was actually, like, meaningful to them, but, like, where it's just, like, anything that stands out more than the ordinary, because, I feel like just hugging people is just something that you do and, to comfort them.
Yeah.
But,
that's the whole point of this project, is it doesn't have to have, like, one grand meaningful hug. Have you ever hugged someone you felt it was meaningful for them, and then you were like, I don't really care about that?
Not really. I mean, you hug your son, you hug your parents, you hug your brother, sister, or something. But like, as far as friends, I don't know. Like, it's just, I just felt like that's just part of what you do as being a friend. I don't know, like, but it wasn't, nothing was ever like profound or where I just felt like I'd saved their life. Okay, you know what? I do have one. You just jogged my memory. Okay, wow, okay. Like, this is like a few years ago, and there's this dude just sitting at a table by himself. He's really, really sad looking, and I went up and gave him a hug, and like, it's gonna be okay. I guess that's one that stands out. But I just felt he was sad.
And how would you describe the hug? Do you think it was a strong hug, a soft hug, a swaddly,
I mean,
British?
it was a hug around like he was sitting in a seat, so it was like a hug around the arms and kind of like, I see you. You're in pain. I hope you're okay. Type of a thing.
And if you had a file cabinet, and in that file cabinet was a bunch of different files, and they were labeled with one word of each type of hug that you can have in your entire life, what file would you put that hug in?
Trying to make somebody who felt completely, utterly alone not feel so alone or seen, or like, hey, I noticed that you're having a rough time. I don't know, just I see you type of a file.
Kara, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Do you want a hug?
No.
All right. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for that story, Kara. As someone who is a self-described not a hugger, you told me that you tried to make someone who you felt looked utterly and completely alone not feel so alone. I see you, Kara. Thank you for that story. At the beginning, I played a clip from a beautiful interview I did with Antonio. I really don't have much else to say other than Antonio grew up with no hugs. He describes it in this interview. It's a beautiful interview, and I'm very, very proud to share this.
Antonio,
I'm going to ask you one question that has no wrong answer. Would you care to share with me one of the most memorable or meaningful hugs that you've ever had in your entire life?
yeah, couple, but one was the funniest one was I got hugged by a friend's girlfriend, and it was and I still think about it today. Just so overwhelming that the emotion, and it was just a regular hug. And you just don't get that from everybody, you know, that their emotion or that love comes through when they touch you like that. And I was younger, and the part about it was, is that I didn't understand it. And my friends didn't understand it either because I told them. And, he just made light of it. And since then, I've been sensitive about, feeling people when they hug you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have that ability to hug somebody like that, because I'm not a hugger. So when somebody does it to me, I can really feel it. And that's why those emotions are there. Just reminiscing about that. That probably happened when I was maybe 23. I'm 54. And I can still remember that. And I'm still friends with those people. I just don't, I think my friend wouldn't say something to her now husband that I mentioned it. So now it's kind of like an awkward thing that, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you, but when I see her, I see her husband all the time, but when I see her again, I am going to tell her.
And how would you physically describe how this hug was, emotions aside? Do you remember?
It was just a hello, hey, how you doing? It wasn't, It was just something that people did, you know? But it was just the way that they hug you, and you just knew that they had open arms towards you, you know what I mean? So,
And if you had a file cabinet, the final question, if you had a file cabinet and you had to open up that file cabinet, there's a bunch of folders, they have little tabs. You can only write 1 or 2 words on those little tabs. If you had to file that hug into a folder, what would be written on the tab?
probably just love. Because that's what I think about. Love and open arms, you know, especially coming from it was a white woman. Um, Seemed like she grew up pretty affluent, you know, and I'm a black guy from the hood. It just happened that I knew him through college, and just never had that. Kind of, my mother was not a hugger like that. You know, my stepmother's not a hugger. I hugged my father for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
He got sick, and we went over there for Father's Day. He's doing real good now, but we just manly like that. Like, it's not, we don't hug, you know? So I hugged him and told him I loved him.
I think you've had enough, Tony. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. Would you like a hug?
No.
Thank you so much.
You silly boy.
There's absolutely nothing I can add to Antonio's story that he didn't already say. Thank you again, Antonio. Raph, Wayne, Matt, Matthew, Cara, Antonio, they're all beautiful. And they're all people that describe themselves as not a hugger. Yet they gave me really cool stories. I'm not sure what to make of that. I think it kind of fits my premise. A hug is the most meaningful emotional bond that humans have with each other in a non-sexual way. And even if you're not a hugger, you need a hug. I hope this felt like a hug, and if you're still listening, I hope you get a hug. My name is Josh Holub, and this is Good Hugs. I hope you like, share, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, or as the kids say, smash that bell. Please listen to the band Market, spelled M-R-K-T. They are awesome. Again, that band is called Market, spelled M-R-K-T. And my name is Josh Holub. Please join us for our next episode.